Why do you think real estate is a big business in Nigeria?
Well, number one, it has to do with our population. I mean, now we are boasting of being the largest, you know, black nation in the world. I mean, you're talking about 200 million, and it's projected that in another 10 years, we are going to grow to maybe like 250 million. So it's when you talk about number, you talk about population, you are talking about housing, you're talking about, the property business, you're talking about, investment in real estate. So it is a big deal based on our population. And apart from that, I mean, Nigeria is not a poor country. So there's a lot, that we have. And then maybe with the new administration, I mean, we expect a lot of investment to start, at least, coming in. For example, like the development of the Dangote refinery. I mean, that's a whole new chapter in real estate development because that axis is going to see all the, aspect of real estate, whether it's hotel management, whether it's holiday resorts, residential accommodation. So it's a whole new game, for us in Nigeria in terms of, real estate.
Conversation towards you now as a way to start with you. I would like you to talk to us some of the opportunities in real estate in Nigeria. Since we've agreed that it's a big deal, it's a big business. Talk to us about some of the emerging opportunities and markets when it comes to real estate in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you once again for having me. Now, real estate is a big deal. Like you just said, real estate is taking territories. Real estate is taking the market. With my own few research in real estate, I discovered that real estate can change one's personality. Real estate can make you, right? So in the market today, real estate has helped a lot of people become a billionaire, which I know, right? So every business out there, to me, I see it as they are finding it difficult to survive to compare to real estate because real estate is the talk of town. Yes. So my mentor once says that if you are the age of 18 to 65 and you're not partaking in real estate, you're but only cheating yourself. So it's something everybody needs to look into. So that's just it.
Let me ask, Bimi, what are the challenges in real estate development? Everyone wants to own a home. So I'm going to begin from residential properties. Let's talk about residential properties, the challenges in real estate development in that aspect.
Well, financing is a major, and I don't want to say the only challenge for residential accommodation development. And it is also because of our, financial system that has not given real estate priority. That is the truth of the matter. But in the last 3 years, the federal government has finally, at least, made it possible. For example, those who maybe civil servants and those who contribute into the national building fund, the Federal Mortgage Bank, now they can access at least 25% of their contribution. So that is also now going to change or improve, the challenge, because cost of buying any property, it's way out of the reach of the ordinary or average Nigerian worker or businessman. And that is where the banking or the financing, needs to come in. Also, even for the real estate developers. Getting bulk money, getting the big, huge finance has not been easy. So that is the greatest challenge. But like I said, with the possibility of at least buying a house or building a property now through the National Building Fund or the Federal Mortgage Bank is now opening that opportunity for more people who contribute towards the pension and all that, like also for those who contribute towards their pension. Now you can also at least, access 25% of your contribution to buy a property. So it is going to get better. That's what I can say.
All right, Orji, talk to us about the commercial side. What are the considerations that the developer puts in place and challenges is faced with when going into commercial real estate?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this question goes. Okay. Sorry. Right on.
Oh, okay. Well, what the developers have been doing so far is instrumental payments. That has helped, people to now acquire land. We now do instrumental payment. You can spread your payment either for 12 months, 18 months, things like that. So that is the only aspect that, real estate companies have, been using, so that, okay, even for those who are buying properties, okay, deposit 20% and then spread the payment. So that is the only access that has been possible. And then maybe you can use your pension to maybe pay the rest. That's all that is available for now.
Now, subsequently, I will come to Gbemi just on the same question. And the question is for an investor who is thinking of investing in real estate. What will be your recommendations? What should be the area of focus? And then I would like you to talk to us, particularly in Nigeria, states that should be of interest for anybody who wants to invest in real sector. And you must tell us the reason these states or these locations should be of interest. I'll start with Orji, then subsequently come to Gbemi. Orji, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. You asked the question of the state, right? What state is preferable when it comes to investing in real estate, right?
Yes.
Now, for me presently, Lagos is the talk of town. Lagos is one of the best I tell people to invest. Now, but secondly, the world is going to Asaba. Majority of our investors presently, due to the system, they prefer investing outside Lagos. But before, we have much more investors here in Lagos. And a lot of people are trying to develop the eastern part, and it's calling traffic towards that Asaba axis. So the main focus now, people are looking at, most of the investors I meet out there, all of them are talking about Asaba. Now, only a few are talking about, some are talking about Abuja, but if you ask me where is the main place, where to get this thing done, I prefer Lagos and Asaba. That is me. I don't know for others, but I prefer Lagos and Asaba because there's as I'm talking to you, there are a lot of traffic going on in Asaba when it comes to property demand. There are a lot of traffic going on in Asaba. So Asaba is the main place now, and Lagos. Thank you.
All right, Gbemi, what's your take on this?
Well, for me, for real estate investment, basically you look at return on investment. And you also look at, property value. So for us, we still, for investors, if particularly we direct them towards the Lekki Free Trade Zone, where the Dangote refinery, is coming up, because that is actually a new city, entirely new city being developed out of nothing. And when you talk about property value, by the time the refinery, comes into operation, it is expected that property value will go up by maybe 400% in the first year. So for any investor, in real estate, that is a serious access to, or angle to look at. Jadon actually explained, Asaba can also be attractive, particularly businessmen, who want to invest in the eastern part of the country, because Asaba is also like a business hub and all that. So, but for us, we are looking at, that axis of, the Lekki Free Trade Zone, because those are the new cities that are coming up and will be rapid, because the influx of people or the demand for land in that axis in the next 12 months is going to be astronomical. And so that is just my take, and that's my advice.
Let me ask. When you identify the area, are there specific type of projects, whether for residential or commercial purposes, that are in high demand in some of these areas that a developer looks at and keys into?
Like I said, the Dangote refinery is going to attract over 100,000 people when operation commences. Expatriates are all going to be there. Businessmen are going to be there. Consultants are going to be there. Casual workers, are going to be there. So for that axis, there's going to be high demand for hotels, for highbrow residential, low-income earners like the casual workers. Most of them are also going to be living in that axis. Shopping malls, name it, event centers, relaxation. So that axis has opportunity for all aspects of real estate development. Whatever the different category classification, it is going to be demanded there, and is going to be demanded, in a short period, because once the refinery commences, it's going to be an influx. It's not an area that will develop gradually. No, it's an area that will develop overnight, because once operation commences, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people will want to live in that area, will have businesses to do in that area. Foreigners are going to be dropping in here and there. So there's demand for every real estate development in that axis.
Investment in a place like Asaba.
I can't hear you.
What specific projects, what specific type of projects are in very high demand in that area?
Is that my question?
All right, Oji, if you can hear us, the question is, what specific, you talked about Asaba being of interest or should be of interest to an investor. So Blessing is asking what kind of projects should be of interest when you're looking at that location.
Okay, I can hear you clearly now. Okay, the best thing to look for when it goes to real estate investment business in Asaba, to me, presently, because of the businessmen out there and because of what people are into, you see the area of commercial is one of the potential return of investment. Now, commercial business gives you high potential return of investment. Very, 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 very well. Now, looking after potential, you can talk about hotels. Like if you go to Owerri this time, you see half of Owerri is hotel. If I'm not mistaken, if you go to Owerri, you see half of Owerri now is hotel. And hotel business is giving that passive income. Yes, hotel business is giving that passive income because most of the investors out there, they are not just buying these properties, or most of these developers these days, all they are doing now is developing for hotels and other things that will fetch them money. But shortlets, yes, because residential properties are very important, they are good, but the money you get from commercial properties are far more higher than residential, right? So hotels and shortlets are what most people are driving into when it comes to investment. So majority of the people out there, they are using this real estate stuff of a thing to generate passive income. You see, so that is why most people go into hotels. And in Asaba these days, hotels are springing forth. Even in Lagos. And let me just go back to what my brother said, Bemi. Now, like the Lekki Free Trade Zone, those assets, because of the forthcoming international airport and the upgoing Dangote refinery and the deep sea port there. Now, there will be a lot of smart investors driving into that place, and most of them will not live there. There are some people coming from Lekki Phase 1 that will not still live there, but they just want to come there and do business. So this kind of business requires hotels. Thus, commercial properties will sell more because the people that will be living there are most people coming into that place to stay and to do business. But most of these big men or top men, they can fly from Abuja, they can fly from Asaba, they can fly from different places to come to that place for business purpose. And when they come to that place, they will need to lodge, and some will want to go for shortlet apartment to live comfortable. So now my take in this is hotel business will be the talk of town in that particular place, that Lekki Axis, that Ibeju Lekki Axis, hotel business and shortlets will be the talk of town. Even in Asaba, I mentioned. So most of these are commercial use.
Let's look at infrastructure development, government investing in infrastructure development. What kind of infrastructure aids or will aid real estate development? What do we want to turn government attention to as we talk about real estate development?
Okay. In this, let me just talk about this Lekki Axis here, right? Now, ever since the ongoing project of the refinery and the deep sea port, now the infrastructure there is superb, I must confess. Now, straight down from Ekpe down to Awuyaya, if you have heard about Awuyaya before, there's this this construction of road, very, 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 very powerful and very quality. And when it comes to light, they're trying, right? So this road, once they finish this road, I believe demand for housing will increase, and the total of this Ibeju Lekki. Now there will be a coastal road along that from the refinery down to the VI. From the refinery down to the VI, and infrastructure there will kick off very well. So we are looking at, we are telling the government, or we are appealing with the government to focus more on the road and light. With these two things, we believe everything will go well, because road makes, imagine driving from, let me just say a few stories here. There was a day I was driving. Due to the new road construction, there was a day I was driving to my place. Normally, 10 from the office to my place is about 15-20 minutes. But because of the fixed road, I passed my junction. And when I realized that I've passed my junction, I need to turn back from over close to a kilometer, turn back, I will say, wow, wow, wow. That is how it was. So this infrastructure is something we are pleading with the government. They should just, and the traffic for now is reducing as the day goes by, because every good road coming that way is making that place so nice and beautiful that it attracts investors, it makes property value high, and many others. Thank you.
All right, Orji, let's look at the issue of regulation of this sector, and then the influx of scammers or quacks. You know, people claim to be real estate, investors, and they are not. You've had report or stories of people, fleecing people, collecting money from different, people, and then nothing is being delivered. Now, how do you check this development? First of all, I would like you to talk about your experience with these people, and then how this trend could be checkmated.
Okay. Now, talking about people collecting money without delivering, first thing I will say something. There is something about due diligence, thorough due diligence. Now, as an investor, take it or leave it. The same way, native doctor these days wear suits. So there are some people that just wake up in the morning like, let me use the word omonile. And because they discover or they notice that real estate has transit to a new realm, so they rebrand and repackage themselves, and you hear names like so and Co Limited. Now, once they repackage themselves, all they need to do is to sell, and they can sell one particular land for 5 to 10 different people, eating this money and not delivering, right? So it's advisable for everyone that is about to invest or that wants to invest, or as a smart investor, to carry out a due diligence before buying that property. It is advisable, because now getting this property, like we all know, real estate is beautiful. We all know that, but a lot of scammers are out there who claims to be CEO, who claims to be agent and the rest. And sometimes I will not blame the company owners, because then we have a middleman like the agents, and we have the realtors. Some of them fail to go for proper training or learning to understand what to push out before what joining or before pushing out. And some of them are just after the commission they will get. So if the investor who is coming in do a proper due diligence by involving a lawyer, a surveyor, and a realtor to make sure before buying this property they confirm it, because there's some property you cannot buy. There's some property that is already committed. You can't just buy a property that is committed. And most times, this so-called omonile, they can go as far as selling committed land to you. And how do you expect such kind of land to be delivered? So 3 years, no allocation, 4 years. And now I need to say this to get it clear. Now, there are some real estate company that they sell land. Now, in the space of 1 year, you might not get allocation. Now, reasons is because most of this company, maybe they acquire 500 plots of land, and because it's for business purpose, right? Now, acquiring 5 plots of land, let's say 500 plots of land, and when you want to do allocation, you need to do general clearing and map out before you now start allocating people. Now, most of these people, they cannot sell 50 plots and do general clearing, then allocate people, because it's for business purpose. And most of this land are their virgin land. Development has not even come inside of that place. So for them to do clearing, and this clearing we are talking about requires a lot of money. Sometimes it might cost you 20 million and thereabout. So for them to do clearing, and after clearing, they start allocating. Maybe they sell 10 plots or 20 plots, and the person that is buying, because the realtor failed to address or tell the person, okay, in 6 months' time you get your allocation because of where you're buying, because of your choice location. Now, most of this land that you buy cheap or affordable, most of them are virgin land. They are in an undeveloped place, and any land you're buying from undeveloped place, sometimes you don't just need, or you're too rushed in getting allocation, instant allocation. Now, if you want instant allocation, you can go for land with CFO and government consent, land that is already in a developed place, that as you're buying it, they are pointing that this is your land. Now, you cannot go inside like that. Ibejuleke has is now talking about Ibejuleke inside, where you see a company owns about, let's say, 500 to 1,000 plots of land, and they need to sell to some extent before they start allocating people. They cannot sell 10 plots out of 1,000 plots, and you're expecting them to do clearance and allocate people, because there's a layout to that estate. So for you not to be scammed as an investor, all you need to do is to carry out your due diligence, involve your surveyor and your lawyer. Your surveyor take the coordinates of that land, chart it to see if it's free or not. Then from there, you move ahead. So if the land is free, you're good to go. That is why when buying properties, you need to know the company you're dealing with. It's very important. It's very important. Thank you very much.
All right, Gbemi has joined us again. Thank you for rejoining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, we've been having discussions around infrastructure and regulation as it concerns real estate development. But let me ask, how do real estate developers align with government city plan? We have master plans for several cities in Nigeria. But what we find that sometimes there's haphazard development ongoing. And as developers move into new areas, how do they ensure that their development plan aligns with government's city plan, so that there is a very structured development where provision for certain amenities are made?
Okay, thank you. Well, that is a big challenge because particularly uncharted areas, new developed areas, that is a big challenge. And, because we don't have a coordinated, town planning system, that has always been an issue. And that is also part of the major problem with drainage, even in Lagos. If you're aware, you will understand that half of Lekki Phase 1 is in serious, water issue, water problem once it rains. VGC, there's a big problem. I mean, so it's all about all this problem, because if there is a well laid out government, plan for certain areas. I mean, for example, now in Ibejuleke, people are sand filling, people are doing their own thing by themselves. Yes, there's an association of real estate developers, at least in Lagos and all that, but there needs to be a coordinated, and that can only be championed by government. It's the government that will say this area is only residential, is for residential, apartments. Oh, this area is for commercial. This area is for industrial. So that we don't, continue to have all this mix of both industrial, commercial, residential, I mean, it does not show that we have a plan. That's the truth. And Ibejuleke axis, there's nothing like that even up to now, despite the huge expectation of real estate development in that axis. And so I think it's an opportunity to call on government, particularly, Lagos State government, to at least to see if there can be a coordinated, is it association or intervention, or at least information, to have some things well laid out. So that's all I can say.
Gbemi, in few seconds as we wrap up, before I go to Orji, I would like you to talk about some of the policies you think government should put in place to ensure that investors are being attracted into the real estate sector in Nigeria. Quickly, in few seconds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in terms of our forex CBN has a lot to play, so that investors' money, they can have confidence that when their money comes in, it can go straight to the project. Because there were instances where, I mean, for them to even access their money could take several months. So all those bottlenecks, and I believe this administration is looking at that to streamline, ease of doing business, so that investors' money, and then when they want to repatriate that money, that there should not be any bottlenecks.
I would like to have your take on that, your expectation from the government to help the plight of investors in real estate.
Okay. Is it my turn? Sorry. Your network beat me up. Okay, come again, sir, come again.
What do you think government can do now to help the plight of investors who are in that sector to make their business better? What kind of intervention or policy are you expecting from the government? Quickly, in few seconds.
Okay, the government, first thing, the government should give lights, 1, good road, 2, and have this relationship with this real estate or developers, have a relationship with them. Because now, if a place is fully developed, the government still benefits from it. So if they are contributing for that place, they need to have a relationship with either the real estate company or the developers. Have a better relationship with them, because most times what the government do, they frustrate this set of people, and the investors actually don't even know that the government are the cost of most of their problem. Now, these investors might buy a property, and the owners of that property, which is the vendors, might be trying to get documents from the government. Instead of the government making it easy for them so they can do other things to make that place grow, the government will delay their documentation, they delay the things, in fact. And when, okay, for example, let me just use this as an example. Like, for example, you are processing for C of O for a particular place now, and the government know they have all it takes to give you that C of O, but they can stretch it in 1, 2, 3, 4 years or 5 years. And now most of these investors, when they ask question, I thought you said CFO in view. Now, why is it taking this long? Then the owner of company or developers, for example, might now will even try covering the government, but trying to, okay, this is the issue we're having on ground. Okay, it will come out very soon. And these investors lost trust. They lose their trust. So most of them are withdrawing back. Now, if they are paying for something and they say CFO in view, in the next 6 months or 1 year, the government can issue that CFO to the people or to the developers or to the real estate company. It will go a long way, and more investors will want to invest. There are people having this money. There are people who have this money for investing, but the truth is that they are scared because our system is not organized. Our system is not unique.